G'day folks, Wagman here and welcome back to the Wagtail Workshop. In today's episode we will be flying high. Let's get into it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about High Flyer, and if this is one of your favourite tools but you are extremely frustrated with the pad on the High Flyer constantly coming away, today's episode I will be showing you how I make a clip to fix this problem once and for all. Let's get into it. Okay, so I like to have things as simple as possible. I like to be able to try and use tools or materials that are at hand. Often you'll see when I make things for the Wagtail, I try and use either the clips that Wagtail already have and modify those, or if I have to make something, I'll try and use materials that are really simple, nothing that you have to go and get machined or created somehow. So try and make it as simple and as easy to make as possible. So in that, keeping in that same vein, the High Flyer clip pad fix clip is also very simple to make. This is it here. Now I'll go through the actual method of making it shortly, but the material here is simply some aluminium. The aluminium I'm using it for this particular clip is this just a sheet of aluminium like this. This is an old sheet. My mate, Signwriting mate, gave this to me. This particular stuff is 1.5 millimeters thick. The other clip I made up is this one here, which is from, I don't have the extra sheet here, but it's a pressing. It's an aluminium pressing from a window company, and that is approximately 1.2 millimeters thick. So what I'm saying there is, you can just go to your local hardware store, find a piece of aluminium, go to your local window manufacturing shop, factory, ask them for an offcut. What you want is a piece of aluminium anywhere from sort of 1.2 to 1.6 millimeters thick. Anything more than that and it won't slide through the grooves. Anything less than that and it'll be a bit too floppy, probably won't stay in place. Alright, so that said, let's get into it. When cutting these little clips here, you need to fold the aluminium first and then cut. Let's do that now.
Well, the TV's on, you got the remote in your hand. Near the end, and then you clip it to 10. Hit SBS, and then it's over to 4. Deja vu, I've been here before. On the flip side, on the flip side.
Because we don't want the edge right here too tight, we just want to have an opening gap. If I just shut this up completely now, it's going to be too tight, so I want a small gap. So I'm just going to lay a screwdriver in that and close it up over the top of the screwdriver. So I've got that sort of shape there. Okay, so now I will cut a strip out of this. So now, because we want an angled bend here, we make sure you have to do your bend first and then cut your angle from the bend. Basically line that up where you want it, mark that through. Alright, so that's now marked there. Let's cut it. Alright, so that is now roughly cut to size. I need to get it in the vise again, get the file out, clean it all up, make it exactly the right size. I can use the file to do that, and clean up all these bird edges. Okay, so when you're cutting this to size, the clip to size, the long leg wants to be as long as you want it to be along here, whatever size suits. This is a 14 inch. This leg actually could be a little bit longer. So when it's in place in the high flyer, you really want it, when the second one comes in, you really want it to meet in the middle, okay? This one has a little bit of a gap. These are prototypes, so the next ones I make, they'll fit probably in the middle. You could even make one that's quite long here and then a short one here, like I did with the 7 inch. The other thing is, on the other side, the short leg, you want that to fit inside this section here. So really that doesn't really matter where that sits. Alright, so this is the high flyer pad, and what the idea here is, obviously, as you all know, is that they stick on to these Velcro strips here. Now, as you know also, that after these get a little bit worn out, they're ripped on and off a few times, gone through the wash a few times, the stick is no longer there. And you know, you flick it backwards and forwards, and this just ends up, once it starts to go, it just continues to go. So what we need is a clip to hold it into place. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to utilize this strip, this extrusion here that's already on the plate. And what I've done is I've made up these clips like this, and all I'm going to do here on this particular one is cut a slot into the back of the fabric on both sides, and I'm going to feed the long end through the fabric there, so it sits in like so. It just goes into the fabric like that. And then what I'll do is I'll take this leg here of the aluminium clip, and I'll feed that leg into that slot there. We'll take the pad now and I'll place it on there and hold it with my thumb in the position that it's going to sit, as a usual high flyer just sits like that. Now I'll take this aluminium clip, and I'm going to feed it into the pad, and at the same time into the clip, into the backing plate at the same time, and that will run down like that and hold it into place. Same on the other side with the brand new one I just made. We're going to do the same thing here. Take the long leg, push the long leg in through the actual high fly, and the short leg slots into that slit right there, and you basically push it in. That just gets pushed in like so. Now you have the two clips, one this side, one this side. There is absolutely no way that is coming off. No, you cannot pull the thing off. Why? Because it's not going to go anywhere. It doesn't want to go. It will not go anywhere. One problem with this is, by putting it into that slot there, you've now taken up that, basically that cushioning material, you've taken that away. So ideally you'll want a strip on the outside of this high flyer that the clip goes into. Now I've done that with this fella. Okay, so I've cut off this side of the flaps. This one I haven't cut off yet. This side, I'll cut that off shortly once I find my scissors. But what you'll see here is I've added a strip. You can see it there. That's the label, and there's a strip in there. I'll just take this clip out of here, and we'll get it onto that one. Alright, so that's the Mormon flick pad. Like I said, I've still got to cut that wing off there, which I'll do that later on, but I have already cut this side off, and I've put a strip of material on the back of it, as you can see there. Put a strip on the back of it. This is actually a piece of Velcro, the hook rather than the loop section. If you did put the loop section on, that would probably attach better to the hooks here, and that will literally keep it in place while you put the clips in. But this one doesn't. I did it this way around so to prove to you how well it works. Like this is not sticking one bit. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to position the Mormon flick pad onto the high flyer. Then I'm going to take the clip that relates to it. Okay, this one, because that's the same angle as the high flyer, as you can see, same angle. So we're going to position the flick pad into place here where we want it. Take the long leg, slide that into the backing strip that I've put on there already, and pretty much feed that clip into there and there. Before I get it all the way in, I'll just put the other side in. Okay, so there's your Mormon flick pad attached to the high flyer by the Wagman modified high flyer clips. Alright, so and that's not going anywhere. Look, there's no Velcro sticking this on whatsoever, and that pad is not going anywhere. Alright, now the beauty of these clips, you don't have to stop at just the high flyer pad or the Mormon flick pad. And so these are the different variations of pads with this Wagman clip modification. You can just use an old sleeve onto your wagtail. You can use the Mormon sleeve on the high flyer. You can use the standard wagtail high flyer pad. You can even use a scrubber type sleeve onto the wagtail high flyer as well. So with the old washer sleeve type style, I haven't made these up yet. I've been concentrating on getting the clips done and working it all out, but it's as simple as putting a pocket, sewing a pocket onto the back of an old sleeve, and that can be attached to the high flyer. Same with this is the scrubber pad off of a Pulex washer sleeve, which had this on one side of the washer sleeve and your standard washer sleeve on the other side. I cut this off. Same thing here. You could sew in a pocket on the back of this and use this directly onto the high flyer using the clips, the Wagman clips that slip straight into a pocket and straight into there as well. Like I've already shown you, the Mormon flick pad, that a lot of people love these, and but haven't been able to attach them to the high flyer. So this is the perfect way of doing it. You simply and easily take the pocket that I've put on here, you pop the Wagman clip into there, and that attaches it to the wagtail high flyer. But what you can do is, you, instead of just putting some fabric on this side, you can use a strip of Velcro here, so that when you do put it on here to place it, it sticks to the Velcro here pretty much just as a location stick, location pin. So that's already in place, and then you can put the clips in really easily, and it definitely will not move an inch. Alright, so there you go, that's something to be getting on with. Okay, so here we also have the small high flyer. This is a 7-inch. I cut down from another version. This is a square shape, squidgy shape on here. So You can also make the clips to be square edge. You don't have to be angled. If your squidgy is square, make the clips square. You just got to make the clips to suit the angle on which the squidgy has been cut. Okay, so this is the square one. So I've made my own little pad here from one of these from the local hardware store. I've trimmed it, cut it, I've super glued the edge so that it holds in place. I'm going to use the Velcro here basically as a locating pin, if you want to call it that. So I'll use the Velcro as the locator, so it does actually stay there. But get it wet and get it worn out a little bit and it will start to peel off. Once it starts to peel, that's when it goes the whole way. So what we're going to do is take what I've done here. I've done a long one and a short one. So the long one still has a short pin on the end, holding pin on the end, but I'm going to feed that through the little slit I've made in this pad, and that will be sliding in straight into the high flyer extruded section there and pushed into place. I'll then take the smaller one, which will hold the other side in. It'll just feed again into that little slot there and then into the extrusion of the high flyer itself. Okay, so they're in. Alright, so even on small, you probably couldn't go any less than a 7-inch. There's just no room to put anything here to hold it in. But that is the square edge squidgy high flyer Wagman high flyer clip. Alright, so there you go. There's another clip idea there for you also. Alright, so there you go, folks. There's the Wagman high flyer pad fix clip for the Wagtail high flyer. Alright, so I hope that helps. Any comments, any questions, chuck it in the comment section below, and I will try my hardest to answer all the questions for you. If you are enjoying the videos I'm putting up, please like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. This is Wagman. Give that a go. Alright.